Um, Good morning, brother and sister. Today we carry on with Heavenly Tribe Hoondok, Chapter 3, Heavenly Parent, Section 3. Heavenly Parent, who is the eternal owner of the heart, the owner of heart. Through parents' words, God is the eternal Lord of our body and our heart. In the original word, if a husband and wife say that no matter how much they love each other, they love God even more, neither will feel resentful. The kingdom of heaven is the word in which we can rejoice that our spouse loves God more than us. God, who is in the position of subject partner, transcending any kind of love and any circumstances, is the eternal Lord of our body. Therefore, if we are embracing the bosom of God who owns our body, and those dwell in his garden will be happy even when we die. Today, with what heart do we venture out? With what eyes do we observe the world? With what sense do we feel? Before you think about this, you should pray, God, as I lead my life, I am dealing with this kind of sensation, yet I want to lead my life understanding the heart of Adam and Eve towards you prior to the fall, the heart they had at the time of the fall, the heart you experienced when you had to expel Adam and Eve, the heart with which you toiled laboriously for the sake of humanity for 1,600 years until you called Noah, and Noah's heart as he worked for 120 years, bearing ridicule and persecution, holding on to heaven in order to build the ark on the top of a mountain. I want to know your heart throughout all this twist and turn of history and hold on to that heart. The question is how we emphasize with God's feeling in our daily life. When you are alone, you should be able, without for a thought, to call out to God, Father. Then you will feel God's reply, yes, I'm here. If you are one with God, that's how it will be. It seems that no one is around, but someone is leading and guiding you. If you live such a life, you never question God's existence. When you face difficulties, you know God will protect and guide you. Knowing this, you cannot desert Him. Sharing thought. One night, I had a dream. I was walking along the beach with God. Across the sky flashes scenes from my life. For each scene I noticed two sets of footprints in the sand. One set belonged to me and one to God. When the last sense of my life flashes before me, I look back at the footprints in the sand. I notice that many times along the path of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I also noticed that this happened at the very lowest and saddest times in my life. This really troubled me, so I asked God about it. You said you walked with me all the way. However, when I needed you the most, you would leave me. Then God replied, my beloved and precious child, I never left you. When you saw only one set of footprints in the sand, those were not your footprints, they were mine. During your times of difficulties, distress, and misery, it was than that I carry you. This is a poem of an anonymous author that has been read by many at least once. How many footsteps are there on the sand that you have walked on until now? From a distance, humans look as though they all live the same life, yet when you look into each individual's life, each is unique, with its share of orders, ups and downs, the stories about how they overcome them. When we look back on the path of our life that has passed by so suddenly, we can see that there were times that rushed by when we did not understand even the hearts of our physical parents. Furthermore, even though Heavenly Parent is our parent, humankind has not given any thought to Heavenly Parent at all. If a person were not acknowledged as a parent, even by his children, and were living by himself in loneliness, and if that person were our own parent, what words of comfort would you want to offer? What would you like to say that you would do for them on from then on? This parent is the one who has always spiritually unseen your eyes come down into our lives, loved us, and accompanies us. This one and only parent is Heavenly Parent. At this very moment, Heavenly Parent is next to us, with His hands reaching out to us. He knows my mind when even I do not know. During those moments when I go through difficulties and shout out that I am alone, it is Heavenly Parent who invariably comes to me and comforts me. Please feel Heavenly Parent's love at this time. Being the source of the heart, Heavenly Parent knows more deeply about our heart than we do. If there is anyone who hasn't been able to experience this heart of Heavenly Parent yet, please try to open your heart at this moment. Please look into His warm eyes, which have always been looking at you in the most loving way in the world. However, because our hearts have been closed until now, we have not been able to feel Heavenly Parent's warm heart, and we could not be held in His embrace when He approaches us with a feeling of love. Opening one's heart wide to Heavenly Parent is not a grand or difficult task. When you wake up in the morning, greet Heavenly Parent first, saying, Heavenly Parent, did you sleep well? Thank you for protecting me throughout the night. Please be with me throughout the day, again today. When going out, you can say, I am now leaving home. Please be with me so that wherever I am endeavoring to do goes well. In the evening, when you come back home after work, greet Heavenly Parent saying, thank you for protecting me throughout the day. How difficult it must have been. It is enough to greet Him. To Hoondokhae, you can envision the world that Heavenly Parent desires based on the word. And if you put it into practice, one step at a time, that is enough. Think that Heavenly Parent is with you in your daily life. Once you begin doing so, you will be able to feel the presence of Heavenly Parent. When you meet people who have prayed a lot and offer Cheon song, you will sense that their prayers are quite simple, without fancy flowery words or an especially excited tone. They comfortably and honestly report about their life and heart, just as though they were reporting to their parent. When praying to Heavenly Parent, asking that He be with us, it is like a conversation between a parent and child. Those who pray like this experience the Heavenly Parent who is always together with us, the parent who knows our heart better than we do, rather than an omniscient and omnipotent, holy and authoritative Heavenly Parent. Heavenly Parent is the eternal owner of our heart because He knows our joys and sorrows, our happiness and unhappiness, our loneliness and emptiness, and much more. Therefore, when we can feel we are living with our Heavenly Parent, our insecurities, fears, dread, and agony can disappear. I pray that you will be able to make every single day one of attending Heavenly Parent. And I have points of contemplation. Have you ever felt the Heavenly Parent is with you? Let us share our experience. And 2, let us reflect on how many times we pray to Heavenly Parent a day. What kind of changes did you experience while you were praying and after you prayed? Thank you. It was really such a gorgeous Hoondokhae. I believe that all of us, we have felt Heavenly Parent with us. And yes, it's true that I can say that in my lowest and most miserable situation, I always felt that God is there. When I asked to God, why this person behave like this? Why these people, they did this to me? Or God replied to me, they didn't do that to you, they did that to me. And I want you to understand my heart, because only through such experience you can understand my heart. And when God said that to me like this, I could not stop crying, feeling that despite all that situation, God poured the grace on me, showing to me His heart. That gave me power to love and forgive and embrace people in any situation. How many times we pray to Heavenly Mom and Dad? It's a constant prayer. When we reach to such awakening and such union with Heavenly Mom and Dad, when God is pouring upon you His heart of love, it become natural that everything you do, shopping or cooking or going job or going school or meeting friends or going out from home or coming back, and you always talk with God. I personally always talk with God. God, I'm going there, come with me. Please help me to catch the bus because I need to reach there in time, or please guide me in such a situation because I don't know what kind of decision to take, or yeah, all these kind of situations become normal in a constant, you know. But yes, it's true that we don't meet God in luxury or in good moments. We meet God in the most painful situation. That moment we meet God's heart. And when we meet God in that situation, I don't know, I believe that many of you have experienced God and felt God in such a deep situation. But me personally, I'm completely melted by God showing me and made me understand that that situation is it's His situation, that situation is God's situation. And even though I really I'm completely melted by the way of how God is teaching me and how God is showing me His heart, and that become my chombo, and I'm so grateful. And I want to stop here because I don't want to become more emotional and cry. Thank you very much. I wish you a great day.